Fellow entrepreneurs and FlowChat connectors, really excited to be back today for another one. I'm curious if you run an MLM or you're part of an MLM, or maybe you run an SMMA, that's a social media marketing agency. Do you know what you're missing? Because today I'm going to dive right into that. What's happening, FlowChat Connector? Make sure and smash that like button. Share this out. Somebody needs to get a little bit better in sales. Of course, if you find value, subscribe to the channel, as I would ask. Today, we're going to talk about what MLMs and SMMAs are missing. So if you're one of these people, this is something you're going to want to pay attention to. Very simply put, we got to know what's missing. And the biggest thing that I find that's missing from these two types of businesses is lead gen and message management. I've been doing this for a very long time, in fact, over 2 decades, and I've gotten pretty good at this, right? What I know is that there's really kind of 4 main ways that any one business can communicate with clients. Here they are. Number 1, let's talk through emails, right? So email marketing has been around forever, right? And we talk about email marketing. What do we need to know about email marketing? We know that the open rates, if you're very good at writing emails to a market, you're going to see open rates anywhere between that 30 and 40%. That means out of 100 emails you send, only 30 people are going to open it and read it if you're really good. So that's 70 people that don't get that. That's why they built a software that allows you to send lots of emails at one time. And of course, then you got to go find the lead gen that we talked about, and then messaging management. Well, email autoresponders are great for sending out one-way communication. The problem is you don't have two-way communication unless you're manually at the helm responding to all the emails that come back your way. And some people have built really kick-ass systems to manage this, and that's fantastic and it works, but they're rare and far and few between, right? The second one, I'm going to skip over DMs for a second. I'm going to come back to that one at the end. The second one is text. Right? If you get a text on your phone, are you going to even open that text if it's from a random number? Probably not, right? Well, texts actually have the highest open rate because this is attached to most people's pockets. And so they will open your text, but do they go further than that? If they don't know the number, probably not. If they see a weird message in there, then they're probably out, right? And you've probably done this yourself. You've gotten a text from random. I get them all the time. I got one this morning. It's like, hey, can you come out tonight? Like, not even going to respond to that one because I don't even know who that person might be, right? And so when you get a text, especially when it's in the element of, hey, I'm building an MLM, or I've got a marketing agency, SMMA, that I'm growing and I want to start texting you. I got your number somehow. I start messaging. Well, yeah, it can be effective if it's done very well. But the problem with texting is you just have to be really, really, really good at messaging copy, better so than almost any other place. And if you're not good at message sequence writing, then you might not have the best luck with text. But it does boast the highest open rates. It's got the second highest click-through rates, which is something that's very, very vital. But we'll talk about that in a second. The last one, or the last one on the screen here, is phone calls. There's these things called robo-dialers. There's sales teams that will just pick up the phone and smile and dial, right? Problem is, if you're the prospect or you're the client on the other end receiving that call and it comes from spam risk, are you going to even answer that? Because most people will never answer a call from spam risk or a number that they don't even recognize. This makes it really challenging for marketing to get into connection and talk with the people that you're working to sell to. And this leaves the last one, which is DMs. Why are DMs even on this list? Because DMs are the new currency of the future. I believe if you have a strong DM game, you can win in any of these other 3 categories, and you can also win at the highest level the fastest. And here's why. There's a lot of statistical data that backs this up. DMs have an extremely high open rate, right? If you're on that social platform, you're usually looking at your messages, even if it's in your message request inbox. And secondly, now we've sent the message. So the first layer is, boom, it hits an inbox that's going to grab some attention. People are on these things, specifically on social media platform, anywhere from 4 to 10 hours a day kind of a numbers. And so if they get a message, they're going to check it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is whatever you write is going to be relevant. Your first message is usually one of the most critical. And the best first message to write is a compliment with no ask, no give, just a compliment. Say they're doing awesome and mean it. Don't just push a compliment out there, but actually review stuff, look at their profile, and then send that message. If you're on the back end receiving this, guess what? Well, you have a chance now to where you've gotten the friend request, maybe you've gotten an initial message that says some cool things and it's in your inbox. So that's a good combination for checking stuff. But here's where the DMs outlast every one of these other methods is they have a second layer. The second layer is your social profile. So what do you do when you get a random DM from somebody? Every time you're usually clicking on that icon and you're going and checking out their profile. And then if you're smart, most people will creep through the profiles and figure out, like, is this person real? Number one, not a bot. Number two, do they have something of value that might serve me? Number three. And of course, there's a couple of other questions you might go through. But then at the end of the day, if those are all yeses and check forwards, you're going to get a response in the DMs. So the DMs get the highest click throughs because they have that second layer of a social platform profile. And then thirdly, now you have the ability to go back and message with those people. And so the number one way to communicate if you're running an MLM or an SMMA to grow your business, I say hands down, is using DMs. And if we talk about using DMs, then we need to have some sort of a system, like I mentioned with auto response and emails, but we needed a two-way system, not just a one-way system. And that's where the most disruptive solution of FlowChat comes to the party. See, FlowChat is that two-way messaging system of which you can set up and find thousands and thousands of the right qualified people instantly by the click of a button, import them into your platform. And then number two, now we're going to go check against some sort of a criteria to make sure this is a good fit. And then we can start sending messages to these people. And guess what? When they respond, we have a timer system that will allow you to go back and check and say, oh, they responded. Now I have my next response already canned and ready to go as a template. Oh, now I have my next one as a template. Oh, and I have my next one as a template, all the way to the objective of the thing that you're trying to achieve. Example, if you're trying to book calls, let's say you're running paid advertising. You run a paid ad, people like your paid ad, they come join your Facebook group. From your Facebook group, we would use FlowChat, collect all of those people, drop them into what we call a pipeline, and we'd have a specific message when they join our group and a flow, a message sequence that we would put behind it. We'd send the first message and wait for a response. We send the second message, wait for a response. Eventually, we would book a call, book the call, take the call, close the deal, and now we move into the purchased column. And this is why FlowChat is disruptive, because it is two-way messaging, not one like an autoresponder and email. And it has that second layer because it plays in the social DM space. We're the kings of the DM space. We own it. And if you want to be part of the movement that we're really trying to push forward here is direct communication and communicating better through direct communication, you're going to want to come and check out our tribe. We have thousands and thousands of really hungry and active entrepreneurs. So there's probably some opportunity for business for you. But then also more than that is take a peek at our tech. In the comments below, the description below, you'll find a link to book a free consultation call. I highly encourage you to do that because you want to come see if FlowChat can actually serve your business. If it can, fantastic. We're off and running to the races. If it can't, we'll probably refer you or connect you with somebody in our network. That's what we usually do. Very simple, no obligation. And I encourage you to just come check it out. With that said, guys, again, if you're not playing the DM game, you want to get into it, definitely talk to one of the people in the space. We're good at it. We've actually had over 2 million DM conversations. And in 2 million DM conversations, you can imagine the frameworks, you can imagine the verbiage, the words, the things that you need to say. If you're struggling with what to say, we already provide that. In fact, we do 2 live weekly sessions of strategy. How do you go with your business to attack your particular client? And we go down the pathway of building a system that's repeatable, duplicatable, but most of all, predictable. So if you're struggling with your MLM or your SMMA and you're really wanting to build some consistency into the revenue that's coming into your business or your world, or you're just sick and tired of starting at zero each and every single month because you have to start over and find a whole bunch of new clients, FlowChat might be the dead-on ringer exactly for what you're looking for. With that said, hope this one was valuable. Make sure and do all those YouTube things that I like the channel, subscribe, of course, if it was valuable to you, because I drop these things all the time. We got awesome interviews and everything else on the channel. And with that said, share this out, somebody else that might need it. And I can't wait to see you next time. Ciao for now.